Imagine waking up every morning with that same calm, clarity, and unshakable focus that guided the greatest minds of the ancient world. Think about it. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. These guys didn't just survive chaos. They absolutely mastered it. So, what if you could tap into that wisdom? Today, we're diving into 10 powerful morning habits from the Ancient Stoics that can totally transform the way you kick off your day. Picture starting your morning with intention, grounding yourself, and setting the tone for a day filled with purpose. It's not just about getting out of bed. It's about waking up to a life that feels meaningful and connected. Sounds pretty amazing, right? Let's explore these habits and see how they can reshape not just your mornings, but your entire life. Starting off with number 1, early rising before sunrise. Marcus Aurelius writes in Meditations to himself, "You must get up early." He reminds himself that it's not difficult to wake at the proper time if you go to sleep at the proper time. Seneca, too, wakes early. His letters contain multiple references to rising while it's still dark outside. It was an important habit for the Stoics, because they understood how valuable time was. If you want to do great things, if you want to be virtuous, you have to start early, because then there's actually time to do those things. And also, you don't really want to live a life ruled by your impulses. You want to master your schedule. And that means waking up when you need to wake up, even if it's before the sun rises. Number 2, morning reflection. Every night before going to bed, the Stoics would reflect on the events of the day. But they'd also use that time to think about the next day, too. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, meditate on what sort of man you will be tomorrow. Seneca did this as well, writing, "When once you open your eyes, you see how great a thing is required of you." When they woke, they knew they needed to be ready for whatever the day might bring. So they spent some time the night before preparing themselves mentally. Number 3, practicing the dichotomy of control. One of the most famous exercises the Stoics would do each day was what Pierre Hadot calls the dichotomy of control. That is, they would think of all the things they might encounter in the day ahead and categorize them. What can I control? What can I not control? This is such a powerful exercise to start the day with, and it's really quite simple. Write down a list of everything that you have to do or that may happen in your day. Circle the things you can control and put boxes around the things you cannot. Now you'll be able to see clearly what you should be spending your time and energy on and what you shouldn't. There's no better way to reduce anxiety and increase productivity than practicing the dichotomy of control. Number 4, gratitude for the day. Though the Stoics can seem like very serious, even stern people, they were anything but humorless. They took joy in life. They appreciated beauty. They found amusement in small things. But maybe, most importantly, they were grateful for the gift of life itself, for nature, for the opportunity to act well today. Marcus Aurelius writes in Meditations, "When you rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." In another place, he writes, "Look at the alternatives. You could be lying dead. You could be suffering illness. You could be enduring some other horrible fate. Instead, here you are enjoying perfect health." Number 5, reading or reciting philosophy. You want to make philosophy your way of life, not just a topic you study once a week or when you feel like. So the Stoics made it a part of their daily routine. Seneca famously carried his philosophical notebooks around with him and read them and reread them, reflecting on their lessons. Epictetus would review his own writings each day, and even Marcus Aurelius had a copy of the works of his favorite Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, which he carried with him into the bath. Number 6, mental rehearsal, premeditatio malorum. Marcus Aurelius opens Book 4 of Meditations with a famous passage. "The things you must do today, do them now. Put your shoulder to it, set it in motion. Don't wait for inspiration. You'll never be free of trouble and difficulty. Whatever you do, you'll find both. So you must be ready for them. Expect the worst, and you will never be unprepared." So the Stoics would spend time each morning imagining possible setbacks, illness, delays, insults, bad weather, obstacles, and difficulties. By imagining the problem ahead of time, they wouldn't be caught off guard by them. They knew they would be able to face them bravely, without complaint, and with equanimity. Number 7. Light physical exercise. Marcus Aurelius says, "All things are born from the body, yet the body is not more than a vessel of the soul." For the Stoics, the body was important. It was the vessel that housed the virtue and wisdom of the soul, and it should be treated as such. They didn't want to mistreat their bodies or abuse them, but cared for them as best they could. So it's no surprise that almost all the Stoics we know about engaged in some form of physical exercise, usually walking, but sometimes stretching or wrestling or swimming or other forms of training. Number 8. A simple, moderate breakfast. Stoicism wasn't about deprivation, it was about balance. It was about recognizing the excess and luxury that existed in Roman life and opting out of it. So even though some Stoics, like Cato, were wealthy, they still lived very modestly. And this was especially true in the morning. Their breakfast was probably very simple. Some bread, maybe a fruit, perhaps some water. They didn't want to indulge themselves or load up on rich foods. They wanted to keep their minds sharp and their attention focused on what the day required. Number 9. Reviewing duties and roles. Marcus Aurelius writes in Meditations, "Remember who you are. Remember what duties you have." He reminds himself that he is a human being, a citizen, a friend, a father, a servant of the common good. Being a Stoic wasn't about following one single path. It was about being who you had to be for everyone, wherever you were called to be. So, in the morning, after reviewing his roles, he knew he could walk out into the world and fulfill them. And number 10. Commitment to act with virtue. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius lists the 4 Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. He uses these virtues as his North Star. They're his guideposts for every decision he has to make. And he reminds himself of this in the morning, because even though he knows what the right course of action is, there are always new situations, new people, new temptations, and he doesn't want to forget that his job is to live a virtuous life, that everything he does should be measured against these ideals. So he returns to them again and again. So, tomorrow morning, rise like the Stoics did, prepared, grateful, and unmovable. Think about it. How can you incorporate a little Stoic wisdom into your morning routine? Maybe take a few deep breaths, jot down what you're thankful for, or set a clear intention for your day. Embrace this mindset, and you'll be amazed at how it transforms your outlook. Let's make a pact. Share your morning intentions with someone today. You never know who you might inspire. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. If you found this helpful or inspiring, why not share it with a friend? Let's keep the positive vibes going. Can't wait to see you next time.